He's our scumbag. He's our scumbag. He's our scumbag. He's our scumbag. He is Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He is the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. He is better than us, and we know it, but by God, we love him. He is a scumbag, but he is our scumbag. He's the people's scumbag. I'm John Recton with my review of AEW Dynamite, the 200th episode. 200 episodes of AEW's flagship program that started on October 2nd, 2019. And has really just been on a goddamn pendulum. And I mean, the pandemic era was what it was. The companies that managed to put on programming, they did what they could. Some was experimental, some was actually pretty good. And now we have full crowds back in some instances. I'm starting to worry about AEW though. Because while the crowd at times was pretty goddamn loud, also, the building was only half full. They were only using half of a 10,400 seat capacity arena. And the crowd made as much noise as they could, but it's starting to get worrying. That being said, 200 episodes of AEW programming. And Collision is going, it's rolling, it's rocking, it's rolling. Rampage is also there. The pay-per-views are doing pretty goddamn well. They're really going to test their audience with All In and All Out a week apart. That's really testing that's testing the finances of the fans during this economic climate. So that being said, let me know what you thought on this show in the comments, please. And I'm going to be honest, there were a few things I liked, and there were some things that I really didn't like. They were singing Judas at the start. I, honest to God, hope that the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the Buccaneers never win a championship again. Jericho and Takeshita along with Don Callis against Sammy and Daniel Garcia. And the JAS explodes. And while I appreciate there is a story behind this, I haven't cared about anything Jericho has been involved in for a while. Because one, he's too self-serving. He hasn't really helped elevate anybody. He hasn't, at least in a good long while. And physically, he looks terrible. Takeshita, embracing being a heel, certainly is better as a heel. Just going to say that. The crowd did sound echoey, because even though they were only using half the arena, I don't know if it's the acoustics of that building. I don't know. Sammy dives a couple times. There was nothing wrong with this match until a little bit later when they made Aubrey Edwards look stupid, and Aubrey is not stupid. You shouldn't make your referees look stupid. I don't care what company what company you are, whether you're independent, whether you're big league, I don't care. Should make your referee seem stupid. Aubrey got distracted. Callis used a bat while Jericho was locked in a submission. And then Jericho actually said, "What the fuck?" And they couldn't edit or bleep it quick enough. Good job. Jericho could have said, "What the?" Like, he could have said that. You could have just said that, but no. And then he covers Garcia 1, 2, 3. And he's all upset. How dare you hurt my boys? Even though he said they need to spread their wings and fly away. And then we go to announcements for Tony Khan. Thanks, guys. I can't unhear it. I can't help but laughing. Blink, just blink. He barely blinked. It was weird. He thanked the fans for sticking with him for 200 episodes. Wembley's coming up, and let's take a look at the clips from the past 200 episodes. And there were some good moments. There were also some moments that weren't necessarily all that great. But you know what? AEW certainly is a variety show. Whether it's a good or a bad variety show is subject to debate. So anyway, I'm sorry. Just that after that Jericho match, that was what it was. And Jericho just, looking all, "What the hell, Callis? I didn't realize that you would do something bad when you're clearly a heel and trying to get me to join your family." And then Tony Khan, thanks, guys. So, Renee was talking to Jericho, and then Daddy Magic shows up, or Magic Daddy, or whatever the hell his goddamn name is. He says, "Hey, it's a mandatory JAS meeting next week, and you gotta be there." Shivani brings out Jack Perry, who immediately takes a mic and calls out Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn calls him a kid, says he can't be medically cleared to compete. He's got too many screws in his neck, and there's no doctor that would clear him, and there's no way that could happen. But he made a call to a friend of his that used to wrestle in ECW, somebody he used to wrestle in ECW, and it is RVD. The crowd was already chanting RVD because they knew by the fact that he is one of the only ECW originals that is still functional to a degree and isn't Bully Ray or Bubba Ray and Tommy Dreamer that are working in Impact for whatever reason, or maybe Bully's working in the NWA. I really refuse to care at this point. But RVD comes out, and there's your all-in match, or at least that's what I thought. He teased facing off with Jack Perry. Jack runs. RVD celebrates with Jerry Lynn, and then Jack Perry runs back with a chair that he seemingly got from a stagehand somewhere, and tries to do that. Tries a hit, and then teases the Van Terminator, no, or Van Daminator. Van Terminator's the coast to coast. So, there we go. It was what it was. Jack did try to use a little girl as a shield. Hope that family was made aware of that. Kind of weird if not. But anyway. And Sheeta and Toni Storm cut pre-tapes. Sheeta's English really has improved, and I'm glad that she's getting more chances to do promos. She once run with the championship again, since she wasn't able to get she loved her run, but she mostly wrestled in front of no or few fans until she lost the championship at, I believe, Double or Nothing 2021. And Storm just needs to break away from the Outcast. Speaking of things that need to be broken away from, the next match, Trent, Penta, and Moxley. Anything goes three-way. There's trash cans, there's tables around the ringside, because anything goes, as opposed to the other matches where anything goes because they don't allow the referees to enforce the goddamn rules. Weapons all over, a jump start, and it was bullshit. It was automatic bullshit. I hated this. This is one of the worst matches that AEW has put on TV all year. There was complete dog shit is what I said. Table superplex, and then the tacks get broken out. Anytime I think that Jon Moxley might break away from this shit, he just does it again. There's a barbed wire board at one point. Just terrible. Absolutely goddamn terrible. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Jesus. Trent ends up winning the goddamn thing, oddly enough. Mox chokes out Trent. Claudio and Yuta come through the crowd, taking about 4 million years to get through the crowd. And then suddenly, oh my god, it's Trent, it's Orange Cassidy. They're doing all this terrible stuff. Oh my god. I don't know why the hell I decided to do that hand motion. I don't have a goddamn clue. I don't really care at this point. Because they're gonna feud with them. We're gonna have a 3-on-3 feud with these guys. That's the best they can do. Anyway, Taylor cuts a promo. Hey, it's going to be a parking lot brawl on Friday. We're going to go back to Daly's place, except Rampage, I think, is already being taped unless they're doing Rampage live. God forbid if they are. Renee is with RVD. Dude, whatever, and cool. He's going to be facing off against Jack Perry next week. Okay. And then here's MJF out to a pop. One of the lone good things on the show. RVD showing up was cool, but it's at least near or at 50-year-old RVD. How old is RVD? He's got to be near or at 50. MJF's been here since the beginning. Talks about all the stuff. He's said some things that he's said before, like having ADD, rejection sensitive disorder. He wanted to do bad shit to people rather than open himself up and let himself be hurt. The quarters being thrown at him. Pick it up, Jew boy, pick it up. His words, not mine. Don't you dare treat people like that, especially, if they just happen to be a different religion than you. That's bullshit. Treat them because they're bad people, not because of who they worship. So, he stabbed everyone in the back before they could stab him in the back. But then, that's no way to live. Being a scumbag is easy. Being vulnerable is hard. But he was able to be vulnerable thanks to the fans. Thanks to all of you people. What do you mean, you people? And I want to be your scumbag. He's our scumbag Chance. And then he brings out Cole to praise him. I have to praise you like I should. And here he is. Cole says he's proud of him. You're becoming the man that you were born to be, Mr. Anderson. That's mixing up the Matrix and Lord of the Rings, nevertheless. The people love you. We are all pulling for you. You're doing amazing, sweetie. And then the shirt plug and all that, and they're just having a whole bunch of fun. And then someone says something in the crowd that MJF's like, ooh, but I don't know what the hell the fan said. If anybody knows what the fan says, please let me know. MJF then basically says, you know, Cole, I promised you a shot, but after thinking over, you don't deserve a shot. And Cole starts to wonder, like, oh, are we getting this? MJF says you don't just deserve any match, you deserve the match. You deserve to be on the biggest stage in the main event of the biggest event in AEW history. All in. It's going to be MJF versus Adam Cole at All In. He has a contract. Cole signs a contract. And thank God he did that because they had the graphic conveniently already prepared. But honestly, I mean, this is expected. And what I think is generic white guy, a.k.a. Roderick Strong, who is throwing a fit backstage, is going to cost Cole the championship. Here's Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, who do still work there, believe it or not. I mean, I know they work in Ring of Honor, but nevertheless, Taven's like, you have to remember who your friends really are. And like, okay, I'm not against using Taven and Bennett more. They're a good team. Seems a little weird for anybody that isn't a diehard Ring of Honor fan. But then, speaking of diehards, you have to really be diehards to enjoy this, or you need a diehard battery to wake yourself up to make sure that you don't fall asleep during this. The Elite, Omega and the Bucks against Team TNA, Jarrett and Lethal, along with Giant Silva Jr. Karen and Sanjay were in the corner. Brandon Cutler was in the corner. Rick Knox was the referee. And Omega versus Jarrett in a wrestling ring is kind of wild. I will say that much. 2023 is certainly weird. This was stupid. The Giant is terrible. Terrible. You can't coach size, but you certainly shouldn't put people just because they're big in a ring, especially in this day and age. You could get away with it in the territories and even into the 80s, but not now. You just can't. Why is Karen here? And then Brandon Cutler sprays her with the cold spray. You'd think Karen would be used to getting in the face, considering that's the only way she's stayed in wrestling. But then the Hardys show up and they get involved. God, this sucked is what I point out. This went forever. Hangman then attacks Jarrett because Rick Knox isn't even aware that he's still on this planet. And then the guitar playing by, Omega, and then the One-Wing Angel on Lethal 1, 2, 3. And then the Elite are going to be staying in AEW. Good, because I had no desire to see them try to go anywhere else. And then Omega even teases possibly appearing on Collision. They boo Collision. You're booing a show run under the same umbrella. You idiots. And then AR Fox is talking about how he's going to take everything from Darby that he gave him. And Swerve says, I had AR Fox star in a movie that I did recently. Let's show it. And they go to Nick Wayne's house. I keep forgetting that it's in Everett. I believe it's in Everett, if I remember correctly. And they beat up Nick Wayne. They beat him up. Bloody him. I don't know who the two other guys were that were training in the garage. I thought one might have been a local guy named Max Burnside, but I'm probably wrong. And they beat Nick Wayne up. And they bash a picture over his head. Swerve says, this picture, of Nick when he was younger, obviously, since his dad has been passed away for a number of years. I'm going to leave this picture as a reminder that he's not here anymore. And he even has Nick unlock his phone so he can call Darby and say, Darby, we're the ghosts of your past, and this is just the beginning. And this is really cool, but here's a question. Was nobody else home? Was nobody else in the neighborhood? I know crime happens a lot in Everett and Seattle. In all those areas, trust me, I live in Washington State. I know all about that. And I like Nick. He's a great kid, bright. He's obviously got a great future in wrestling. And I didn't mind this. And obviously Nick was perfectly okay with doing this stuff. And Swerve and Nick have worked together in the past. And they obviously went over this. And it was obviously cool. And they obviously cleared this with the family. And I liked it for what it was. But I'm just like, okay, we show it on camera. And anybody going to call the police? No? Okay. Nick really did get a lot of blood, though. That was a lot of blood on that mat. Whew. If this leads to some pretty good matches and we get Nick Wayne on the pay-per-view, maybe All Out possibly, I'm all for it. Darby and Nick Wayne and possibly somebody else against Swerve, AR Fox, and somebody else. Cool. I'm fine. So anyway, Aussie Open. Mark Davis is back. That's good. I'm glad Mark Davis recovered. Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher against Vikino. The Viking Man can because he does as much flips and a cannonball. and Commander, Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship match. Why was this on Dynamite when they have Ring of Honor on? I have no issue with Aussie Open being featured, and it was what it was, but it was a clash of styles, and Corey Ellis, 1, 2, 3. I have nothing else to say about this because it was either Aussie Open trying to do tag team stuff or the Lucha guys doing Lucha stuff that works at times but has been so overdone, especially on this program. And then we do a package on Collision and the card rundown, and then we get Sheeta versus Storm with the Outcast, you know, the joke that is Saraya, and Ruby, who looks like she just wants to leave. AEW Women's Tag Team Championship match, they gave this, I noted they gave this like 11 minutes, and then it had a couple minute overrun. Saraya has no business being in a mainstream wrestling promotion, especially in a wrestling capacity. And I know she wasn't wrestling here, but seriously, she can't do anything. She moves like she's afraid she's going to get hurt, and maybe that's why you don't wrestle anymore. But both can work. There's a barricade spot where Sheeta hit her head. Excuse me, and Tony focused on that. And they took a break with 7 minutes left. They were obviously going to have an overrun, but this is ridiculous. We did get interference, making the referee look stupid again. Hip attack, who wouldn't love to take that from Tony? Boy, howdy. And then the kendo stick got brought in, and Sheeta was almost going to hit Storm, because they wanted her to get DQ, but then she hit Saraya, like that's the first time Saraya's been sticked on camera. The little hewer that she is. And then Ruby got stuck. But then a spray in the face, and oh my god, Sheeta got hit with Storm 0, 1, 2, kick out. And then rolls up Storm soon after, 1, 2, 3, new champ, confetti, all that. And oh my god, Sheeta's new champion, and Saraya's going to beat her at All In. One quick note at the end, though. And I mean, I know this is a sign otherwise, but I wanted to point out at the end, protect trans kids. I wonder what Saraya's stupid string bean skeletal, remains of a goddamn boyfriend, that piece of shit Ronnie Radke has to say about trans kids, because we all know he's a transphobic, homophobic son of a bitch. And those kids could easily kick his ass. He'd probably try to beat them up because that's how much of a scumbag he is, but I wonder if Saraya's ever going to grow up and actually realize that maybe it's your fault. Maybe it's your fault that bad things happen to you. Because karma can find a way to catch up to you. But the point is protect trans kids. And if you don't agree with that, fuck you. Fuck you. Get the fuck off my goddamn channel. Let people be who they are. If kids can be indoctrinated into church, then they can live as their true selves. That's it. Anyway, that's off my high horse. This was not a very good episode of Dynamite. I just had to go off on a few things. Agree, disagree, what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Reckland. I'll see you soon.